Hello, everyone. Welcome to Abnormal Investigations. I hope everybody's doing all right tonight. We've got a good show for you planned tonight. There's Amanda. Amanda, I was looking for you backstage, and I didn't see you. I do see Sky backstage. So Amanda should be joining us tonight on the show, guys. We got a really good show set up for y'all tonight. Sarah's going to be sitting in with us tonight. She's going to be co-hosting. She took off running over there. She said, "Oh, hell no."
I retired.
She thinks she's retired, folks. She thinks she's old enough to retire. Look at me. Still 50 years old, and I'm still cooking it out here, guys. Still cooking it. And I'm like that commercial, Sarah. Where's the beef? I'm going to have to challenge her to a mukbang on the other channel and show her how it's done.
Can't eat a half a hog.
She said she can eat half a hog.
No, I
Huh?
said I can't.
Oh, she can't eat a half a hog. I probably could. I'd give it a run. Take my pill. I'd be ready to eat. Got me some eating pills now. Oh, man. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Crazy night here tonight, I guarantee you. Amanda, are you going to be coming backstage tonight? Are you going to be coming on tonight, Amanda? Amanda, are you coming on the show tonight, Amanda? Oh, I'm trying to get everything figured out, guys. Looks like Sky is backstage. We got Sarah sitting in here. She'll be giving us her input from across the front room. She's eating her pig feet and crackers right now, so she'll let us know what's going on in just a little bit. Do what?
I was talking to Mom.
Oh, she said she ain't going to share her pig feet. I want to. My link. Your link didn't work. That link should be working. Hold on, Amanda. Let me try. Let me resend it to you. Stand by, Amanda. Let's get this worked out real quick, folks. Okay. So here, there. There we are. Right there. And we're going to blame holding the show up on Amanda tonight, guys. It's Amanda's fault. Amanda, we're going to blame you tonight. There you go, Amanda. You should have that link again now. That one there should work. There you go. Sorry. Whenever I start to do this, Amanda, I use my phone on this, so I'm not able to see your all's messages when you send them to me, so I apologize. Let me go ahead and throw... Are y'all talking to me?
No.
Okay. I thought they was talking to me. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and throw Sky in here real quick. Let's see if we can hear her. Sky, if it worked.
Can you hear me?
There you are. We can hear you. How are you?
Perfect. I'm doing good. Pig feet. Who is eating pig feet?
Sarah,
What?
you're going to get me in trouble, Sky. Because if she's listening to this, Sarah's going to come after me right on a live, and I'm going to have to get a protective order live.
I know. That's
You're missing it,
gross.
Sarah.
Well, there's
She
people that
said,
eat that. I shouldn't say that.
she said, who is eating pig feet over there? That is so gross. I said, Sarah is with crackers.
February gonna be no good anyway. That's a little piece of paper.
Oh, she said a protective order ain't going to do me no good. It's just a piece of paper.
That's
I
true.
might, I might be in trouble, Sky. See what you did? Going to get me crippled. I'm not going to be able to go out boots on the ground.
Oh, no. We can't have that.
I
We
know.
got to have your boots on the ground.
Now somebody's got to go out there and be bait, right, for the people and the cryptids.
Absolutely. That's the best part.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, y'all's going to get a show one way or the other, right? Either a cryptid's going to attack me, or
Sarah
Amanda's having
can wheel you
trouble.
out there in a wheelchair to roll you down the hill.
I don't know if I'd trust Sarah pushing me in a wheelchair. I think that would be a bad, bad thing. Amanda's still having trouble. Let me see if I can send her the link.
Amanda, let's go, girl.
She may have to restart her phone. I know I know it works because I sent you the same link, and your link worked evidently because you're on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to go in and just recopy the whole thing for her and see if that'll work. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself while you're on here, so they can kind of get to know you just a little bit. Like, how long have you watched the show, and are you into cryptids or spirits, or what's the main thing you're into?
I'm into cryptids. Um, I started watching about 2 years ago, and I think I came on as a mod back in, oh, was it November? I know it was before Christmas. I think in November of last year. So I've been around a little bit. I know there was some people thinking that I came around real recent, but I've been watching for a couple years now. Back when Sarah used to go investigate, and Kaylee.
That's what I was going to say. I remember you being in the chat whenever Sarah and Kaylee would be out with me when we would. One of the times I remembered you in chat was whenever we was at that back bridge, when we would go back there to that
Yes,
bridge. I
the
remembered
Freaky
you
Bridge.
was in there.
Yep,
Oh man, that bridge is still crazy.
yep. So
It's even crazier.
I had an encounter when I was 14, but not with cryptids. It
Hmm.
was an extraterrestrial encounter,
Hmm.
and I'd love to talk about it sometime. Maybe some people are into that, maybe some people are not, but it was a very crazy encounter. It happened with my cousin. I'd love to get her on sometime and have her tell her side of it. Um,
That's
but when I
interesting.
started getting into this, I'd reached out to a couple of different channels. I talked to I was friends with Scott Carpenter for a while because I started really getting into the cryptids, and he thinks they're all related. And then I talked to you about it. You think it's related. And then, I've talked to different professionals too, and they're thinking that it could be related as well. Um, so it's all kind of related in some way, possibly.
Right. You know, a lot of y'all know as moderators and stuff that a lot of my beliefs and investigations into this has been biblical, and I use, biblical knowledge as my foundation for my beliefs in the investigation. And the only thing that I can actually find is it all fits together, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's all connected. Um, I mean, it's the
Right.
only thing that makes sense, right, to me. I mean, if something else could make sense to me, then yeah, I would be all for that. But
I
it's
know.
the only thing that makes sense. Scott Carpenter, like what you said, me being an investigator, I was taught that tangible evidence, evidence you can see, touch, smell, that is what we look for. And whenever you do DNA research and you come up with proof, in my opinion, I mean proof, it's hard to argue the facts, right? I mean, or it was for me.
Exactly. And they say you can't have real facts without peer-reviewed research. And I know Scott Carpenter got with that veterinarian. I apologize, I do not remember her name. And I'm sure there's somebody here that could correct me on that or knows that woman's name. But from what I understand, they tried to. They tried to get DNA done, and I think there was some DNA tested, and I know he goes into that, or he did go into that. Um, but it's hard to get peer-reviewed um, paperwork done on this data when the government has so much pushback on it.
Right.
Um,
Uh,
yeah.
so, what was you maybe thinking about? Melba Ketchum? Is that who you was thinking about?
Is that who it was? Melba Ketchum.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
She was. She was the one that done all the DNA, the nuclear, and the what's the other one? There was the nuclear DNA, and then you have the. I went blank. Wow.
Yeah. He worked
Hmm.
with her and he wrote about it in his books. I mean, anybody can go read about it.
Right.
But I
I
mean, how do you call yourself a professional in this field when we're all still learning? We're all still trying to understand what all of this is. And I love these groups and where you can come on these podcasts and you can talk about your experience so people don't feel like they're being laughed at in their communities or their families or their friends. You can come here and explain away and talk about your experience, and you will not be ridiculed here, which is to me amazing.
right. I've always tried to have a safe place here. Karen Palmer is asking a question, and if you don't want to answer it, I completely understand. She wants to know where you're from, what state. So,
Oh, I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'm probably about a 5 hour drive from Mike, 4.5 hour drive, because he's up in Northeast Oklahoma. East Oklahoma is one of the biggest hotspots for Bigfoots. I don't know if people know that, but there's tons of shows out there about East Oklahoma.
yeah, what is it?
Um,
We have like even what Monster 911. We have
yeah,
quite a few, quite a few. Yeah, we've had out of state groups. I don't know what happened to him. I was pretty young back when this happened, but it's been years back. There was an actual group come here out of California and went to the location that I'm actually investigating. And their report stated that there was definitely something prehistoric living in that area. So I thought that was pretty cool. I think you're muted if you're talking.
can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, do I sound okay? Because I had a phone call. I apologize about that.
Oh, just breaking up just a little bit. Not bad.
Okay, is that better?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's really clear.
Okay, and what was the other question? I apologize. I can't read that small writing. I need to learn how to blow up the screen.
Let's see. We
Okay,
got another
actually,
question. Let's see here. Sky. Let's see if I can get this. Sometimes my computer doesn't work for me.
just where I was from. Yeah, I was actually born in San Diego, California, but I was raised here in Dallas, Texas.
California.
Yeah, where Miss Amanda's from. I wish she'd be here
I
with
know.
us.
I'm not seeing her. I just sent her the new link, and I told her it should work, and I asked her if she was good, and I haven't seen anything from her. Infinite Seven Endeavors. Good to see you, Ben.
Is there a lot of sightings around the Dallas area? Yeah, actually there are, and there's a couple of channels from the Dallas area. Now Houston and East Texas has significant sightings. That's where you're going to hear about the most sightings. and the Sam Houston National Park, and anywhere in East Texas where like the pines are. They seem to be around the pines area, doesn't it? Anywhere there's pines and water.
Yeah, I mean, that still blows my mind. I think there's more to that, don't you? I don't think water is just a source of something to drink for them. I think there's a lot more to it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think there's something to, I mean, if you believe in the paranormal side of it, I think I think there's something to that. Yes.
Right. Amanda said she's trying to get on right now. She's having trouble with her internet. So hopefully she will come
Oh,
on.
okay.
Hopefully. Um, I got a lot of information we're going to go over tonight. We're going to talk about another documented account in history of some actual werewolves. Before we jump
Oh,
into that, I want
Scared
your
Silly said
opinion.
something real quick. I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Oh,
to
did she?
interrupt the
Oh, you're okay.
host. Yeah, Scared Silly. Yes, that's a hot area too, actually. Okay, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
you're fine. You're fine. I was just rambling. I'm
Yeah,
looking around and
Scared
I got
Silly. Yes,
so many
that's
notes.
a hot area too, actually. Okay, go
There's
ahead.
Amanda.
Well, hello.
I was just rambling.
Oh, she's got there.
Maybe.
Hello.
Hi.
You're on the air.
There you are.
Can you hear us?
Hello.
That's
Can
right,
you hear me?
Sunshine. She is fashionably late. We can
I
hear
can't
you.
hear
Can you
you
hear
guys.
us? Uh-oh, same problem she had the other night. We can hear you. She's getting frustrated. I could hear it in her voice. Uh-oh. So if she comes back, we'll get her on. She'll get it figured out. So I remember what I was going to ask you now. So my question is to you and the chat. Everybody in chat, chime in also. Let me see here. I got some notes laid out for tonight. Let me just squeak this over just a little bit. So, what is your thought, Sky, on werewolves? Do you believe that they actually are somebody that transforms, or do you believe werewolves are that creature all the time?
Wow, you just hit me with the hardest question.
I
Thanks,
got,
Mike.
I got to
You're
throw you under the bus. It's your
Yeah,
first night, right?
throw me, just pick me up by my pants and my shirt and just throw me.
Yeah, that's one of the
Um,
harder questions. And I'll admit, I'll help you out a little bit. I struggle with that question.
yeah,
Am I
I could.
here?
Yay, there you are.
Yay, I
There
made
you
it.
are.
I know. Geez, I couldn't hear you guys, and then I realized I had my volume off.
Oh,
Blonde
we're so glad you're
moment.
here.
Yeah,
Okay, so Mike's busy throwing me under the bus. So,
He loves to do that. That's his favorite
yeah.
thing.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what I asked her is the hard question. The question. We'll even ask Mom. Hold on, Mom. Do you believe that werewolves are actually people that are transforming into these creatures, or do you believe that they are this creature all the time? Mom says all the time. What do you all say? What do you all say in chat? What do you say, Sky? We're going to throw you under the bus in. Amanda, you'll be next.
Okay.
So that's a really, really good question. And because I do believe in the paranormal, and I do think that Bigfoot has the capability to be paranormal, I do think that there's other species out there, and I think that Dogman is included with that. Now, can now there's a lot of Native Americans that believe it. I know you know this, Mike, but I'm just bringing it up that
Mhm.
that's the skinwalker. That's where that correlates from.
Yep.
It's hard to say. It's hard to know. There's a lot of evidence of it. Now, is it factual? We don't know. Um, I I do believe that they do exist. Now, whether they can turn to human back to werewolf, that is a very good question, and I just don't know. That's a hard question.
Right. I was looking at what Sunshine just said. That's a really interesting comment. She said,
Oh, what'd she say?
I think they change, and because I seen someone with skin on their face, it was all stretched out.
Oh,
Huh.
So,
Interesting.
yeah. So,
They
what do
sure
you
have
think?
made, they say Hollywood makes movies about this stuff, and
Oh,
yeah.
the X-Files is supposed to be based off of
True facts.
true things. So
Yeah.
it's, you never know. It's all
True.
Hollywood, but then again, it's supposed to be
right.
based off of true things. It's so hard to know. It's I would say yes because of some good evidence out there, but who knows? I haven't seen
Right.
it with my eyes.
I think that is a good answer. So,
Well,
Amanda,
thanks.
let me chunk you under the other side of the bus.
Yep. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I agree
So,
with your mom. I think that they are like that all the time.
mhm.
Yeah.
You think they're werewolves all the time?
I do. I don't think they change from human to werewolf. I think that werewolves are just werewolves and that maybe skinwalkers are something different and they are.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, like you said, I don't have any proof or anything, so I just go with what I think.
Okay. So you do realize that there's not just Dogman, but there's supposed to be a difference between the Dogman, the werewolf,
Yeah.
and there's like different looking ones that look like pit bulls. Some look like German shepherds. Like, are we talking different races here? I mean,
Yeah. I think
you
so.
know?
They're like
Yeah.
different breeds. They're like different breeds of dogs. Just and the same with like us humans. We all look different than each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whenever I first started looking into this, for instance, whenever I started doing the Girl Scout murder case, that was one of the cases that really, I guess, challenged my belief. Right. I was where Amanda's at. I believed that there was no transformation, that they were always this creature. I felt like they had probably came from, under the earth, under the ground. But then I spoke and interviewed people for that case, and and again, we have to take people at, face value, right? Because we don't know 100%. And that's with anybody. As an investigator, if I'm interviewing you and I have not been, to the crime scene or seen something for myself, I'm just taking your story, there's going to be a percentage of doubt that I have to calculate into your statement, because I wasn't there. I cannot 100% confirm it. But the problem that I had whenever I done that really messed with me was there was so many people that, and we're not just talking about the townspeople, right? We're talking about the FBI. We're talking about the state police. We're talking about the local police. And we're also talking about the OSBI, Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations. Okay. They all done that case. When you go through their documents, their reports, almost every one of them mentioned at least seeing something supernatural while they were at that camp. Some mentioned that they seen Gene Leroy Hart, running. He went behind a tree. As he went behind the tree, then a black dog come running out from behind the tree, and he was nowhere to be found. You have reports of people that I spoke to personally that said, I witnessed a man at a ceremony that started to transform into a werewolf or a dogman, whichever one you want to call it. And he literally bit the father of a lady that had to go to the hospital, and the veterinarian or the doctor could not explain the bite mark, but he said it came from his brother. So, I mean, how do you explain that away, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the British story about the man who comes out and talks about how he's an actual werewolf that changes into a person back to a werewolf. And there's some tangible evidence about that story, if anybody's heard of that one.
I haven't heard of that one though, actually. So you want to
Yeah.
tell me a little? That's kind of interesting.
You just, yeah, you have to kind of just look into it. But it's been a long time since I've seen that story.
Yeah.
But there is a British man who definitely talks about it and swears that he can change. And the media have actually got a hold of him and it did a story on him. It was interesting, very interesting.
So did he change on camera, or did he just make the allegation that he could change?
He made the allegations.
Okay. But you said there was like tangible proof that may suggest that he may have done it.
Yes, I think there was like a sister or a brother or something that came out and said that yes, this actually is true, and there were some pictures or there were some video or something. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look back into the story.
Right.
It's
Tammy,
very
thank you for that.
interesting for sure.
I just
Yeah, I
want to
wouldn't
say
have-
hello to everyone in chat and that I love you all.
Oh, hello everybody in chat.
See, Amanda knows how to butter him up.
Oh
I
yeah.
do. I do
Well,
love everybody in chat.
Amanda's a good-hearted person. She loves everybody.
I
yes,
She's
she
do.
is.
she's one of them people that whenever you're having a down day, you can call her and just hear her voice, and it just makes the
Aw.
day better.
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome. Oh,
Absolutely.
and I guess I
Just
should
the
say
best.
also to the moderators and to everybody in chat tonight, happy Valentine's Day. I hope it was a great one, and I hope you got many memories and many blessings, and you got many more to come.
Yes. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Hello, Shannon. Karen Palmer seems to know a little bit about the differences between the dog man and the werewolf. She said something about a tail earlier.
Yeah, a lot of people, and one of the arguments that I've listened to a lot is Dogman has the backwards dog leg, and then the werewolf has the human leg. Okay, so
Oh, okay.
when I spoke to the shaman, they kind of disagree with that. The shaman told me, I'm thinking how I can say this because I have to be careful because we're not on Patreon. So in order to be able to do this, to do the transformation, there has to be a ceremony with a sacrifice, okay?
Mm.
Oh, okay.
The closer the sacrifice is to you, the stronger you will be, okay? So if somebody was to sacrifice a distant person, then their power may not be strong enough to completely transfer them over enough to be able to come out of the human-like legs into the dog, right? So you're still going to have the human legs, but you're still going to have you're part animal, right?
Yeah.
But say one of them sacrifices something close to them, like immediately, right? You know what I'm saying, I think, without getting us in trouble.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Then you would have more power to be able to transform completely into the werewolf, right? So whenever you look at it, and I don't know if y'all would agree, but when I look at it and then I place it again biblically, it doesn't really matter to me if it's a distant sacrifice or maybe not even a blood related sacrifice. It all is inherently evil, right? I mean, the concept of sacrificing something to be able to change your form, to me, that's inherently evil, right? I mean, do you all agree?
Yes.
I think we might have lost Sky.
Guy, are you
But-
there? Unmute yourself.
Uh-oh, she muted herself?
I don't know. I was just assuming.
Or she might have got another call, too.
Oh.
I think she got kicked. She'll be back. So I think that whenever you do something evil for evil, I mean, well, what I mean, even Jesus told us, right? Do not repay evil with evil, right? We're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to
Right.
be the peacekeepers, right? For they shall be known as the peacekeepers. The people that keep the peace are the ones that will have extra uh, blessings, right? Because they are the peacekeepers.
Yep.
So I just think there's an evilness to it.
Yeah.
Anytime that you sacrifice something for
Oh,
a
for
power,
sure.
because I mean, look at that little dog on that back brush. Thank God I didn't let Sarah walk up and look at that, right? The other night when I found the poor little coon that was hung on the trail with the ball cap on it. I mean, come on. That
Oh, that's
is,
right.
Sick.
yeah, it's sadistic.
Yes.
That's very sadistic. Or what if you had Kaylee with you, you know?
Right. Or, it's
Oh,
and not even a field investigator. What if a guy just was taking his son down there, his daughter, to go crappie fishing? You know?
right.
Right.
The little kid jumps out of the truck. He's happy to go fishing, and he's running down this trail, and all of a sudden, there's a coon hung with a ball cap on it.
Yeah, that's sick.
It just blows my mind. So we'll go ahead and jump into the case tonight. I've got quite a bit of information on it. I think we'll have quite a bit of talking points on it. It's a pretty interesting case. It is an old case. It happened in 1521.
Dang.
It happened in Poligny, France. The main figures in this we're going to be talking about is a man named Filbert Montot, Pierre Bergot, and Michel Vurdin. The accusations that were placed against those gentlemen were lycanthropy, witchcraft, murder, and cannibalism were what they were accused of. There was a trial that was held with all three gentlemen. All three were executed, burnt at the stake in a public burning. The historical context of it is in the early 16th century, Europe marked by religious turmoil, superstition, and fear of shapeshifters. And then the key features were tortured confessions, detailed accounts of witches, Sabbath, and public executions were on the rise back then. So I want to put another question out to y'all. I want to start this one with Amanda, though. We'll throw her into the bus first on this one.
Okay.
So, Amanda, do you believe, I mean, absolutely, I would say that innocent people back then were tried and executed for things that they probably weren't. But do you believe that there was more people executed that were innocent, or do you believe there was a lot of witches back then? And do you believe witches are still among us today?
I believe that a lot of people were killed unnecessarily. And also, I believe that witches are still among us today for sure. And I don't think all of them are inherently evil either. I think there are like green witches or herbal witches that are different kinds of witches that aren't bad witches, like that aren't into black magic.
Okay, so same question for you, Kristen. What are your thoughts?
It's funny. I actually wrote a paper about this in college.
Well, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Again, do you believe in paranormal? Yes, I do. Are there people, witches have been around forever. And they hung them back then, like you were talking about. I do think they're real, and I do think that they're still real. I think that they still exist today. And again, this is our safe place, guys. If you don't agree with me, that's totally okay.
Oh yeah, because I'm fixing probably to turn the table upside down whenever I give my opinions. So go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think there are some special people out there that have special powers, and I think the FBI knows who they are.
Agree.
And yep. We could always go into that in a different show. But
Mhm.
anyway, yeah, I do. I think that I think they've been around forever, and it's always blamed on a bunch of crazy women.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do.
I think that's a good answer. Now, are y'all ready to watch me probably
Yes.
get in trouble with some people? Okay, so I'm not just throwing you all under the bus. That question is going to throw me under the bus also because so this is what I believe. And this is my opinion. I would like to reiterate that I'm not forcing this on anybody. This is my opinion. We're just having a round table here. It's just discussion. Um, so I believe that a lot of people were executed under the phrase that that person is a witch or a warlock. I believe that definitely happened. I believe that there was a lot of innocent people killed because of superstition. I believe that definitely happened. I do believe there is witches then and today, and I believe there's warlocks or Satanists, cults, whatever you want to call them. I believe that they still exist. I have firsthand knowledge of them. So I will say that for me, I'm a knower just in my job and living where I live, and that I definitely know that they do exist. Probably here's where I'm going to split a few hairs. I'm not attacking anybody personally. This is my belief. Okay. I do not believe there is good witches. My biblical teaching teaches me, the Bible has a verse that I cannot say on here because we're not on Patreon. And some people will say that it's, inciting violence. It's not my words, it's Jesus's words. I believe that there is no good witch. Now, going back to what you all said, though, I do agree with you all. I believe that they do have powers. I believe the powers are definitely there. We know that Satan is the king of this earth. He runs it, and definitely he allows his people to have, I don't know, what would you call it? Maybe abilities.
Yeah.
But I think that those abilities are all evil. Anything I believe that doesn't come from God that is used like that is evil. I can't say the scripture because the scripture is, I couldn't say it and get away with it. Just look it up, what the Bible says about witches, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I do believe they exist. I'm just going to give a summary and we're going to move on, okay? I do believe they exist. I believe all of them are bad. I don't believe any good comes from them. I believe the only good power is out there is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and that's my belief. And if y'all want to add anything, I'll leave it open until we move on. If y'all want to say any more,
I'm good.
Yeah, that's
Amanda's like, nope.
I'm not getting myself in trouble. Well, Sheepdog said something pretty good, and I apologize. I can't. I have to paraphrase what he said, obviously. But basically, that they're Sheepdog, would you reiterate what you said?
Yeah, let's.
I don't want to misspoke what he said, but it made sense.
I think Sunshine must have done something too, because I see a lot of people laughing at her. I probably don't even want to know what Sunshine done. we may have to kick her out of this one, Amanda.
Where'd Kristen go?
She got booted again. I think she'll be back. Yeah, she's
Okay.
having internet issues, I think.
Yeah,
We'll let
I
her
feel that. I had internet issues earlier.
we'll let her turn off her camera real quick before I throw her on there. She'll shoot me if I don't. There we go.
All right.
Aren't you glad I waited for you to not just throw you on there?
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
I'll get used to this.
So,
Oh, Sheepdog, I was talking about the
Mhm.
witches. you said something pretty smart. Um,
Yeah, Sheepdog is one of our. We have a lot of smart people in our audience. Can you believe some
mhm,
of them are almost as smart as me?
I know. Can you believe that?
It's hard to imagine, isn't
The
it?
IQ level in here is astronomical.
I don't know
For
about y'all, but
real.
I'm on fire right now with it.
Woo! Of course you are. But yeah,
I'm probably on
mm,
fire because I know I just got myself in trouble.
I think that they're bad as well. I think that if you have any kind of superpower like that,
Mm.
any that God didn't personally give you himself, then
Hmm.
you're messing with the devil, and that could be problematic, obviously.
Well,
Okay.
I think we as people, and I think the reason that Jesus warned us about that is because we are of the flesh and we are of the fleshly wants that we don't have the discernment to know exactly where that information is coming from.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we know it's there, or we wouldn't have been warned against it, right?
Right.
Jesus wouldn't have warned us against it if it wasn't there. But he also said we're not supposed to seek it, and we're not supposed to try to become good at it and to try to you know make it stronger. We're not supposed to do that. And I think it's
Mm-hmm.
because he knew that we're of the flesh, we can be deceived easily. It is better for us to pray to God and to receive our knowledge from Jesus, and that way we know that what we're receiving is from the Holy Ghost, and it's not going to lead us in a wrongful path. um, that's my
Speaking of,
opinion.
Sharon just made it home safe. Thank God. There's
Yeah.
tornadoes for all of us here in
Oh
the South.
yes,
I hope you guys are all home safe.
yes,
Pray for
prayers for
Sharon
everybody in
and
the South.
everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and prayers for Sharon especially. I don't know though. It'd have to be a pretty mean tornado to take her out. She'd probably go out there and rope it. Who was it that roped the tornado?
I don't know.
The old folklore. What was his name? He roped a tornado. I think he roped it in Texas. Roped a Texas tornado. Who was that? Does anybody in chat know?
I don't
Do
know.
you know, Kristen? You live in Texas.
I don't. We have a huge state though.
Okay, it was an old. Folk story. We was told that a million times. He roped a Texas tornado and he rode the tornado.
How cool.
Yeah, only in Texas.
Well, but you guys up in Oklahoma, you guys get way more crazy tornadoes than we do.
Oh, I live right in the middle of Tornado Alley.
Yeah. It's
Not
Why would
fun.
anyone live in Tornado Alley? Is my
You
question.
you would have to ask my parents that. They they
uh-huh.
they 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 chose it. It's their fault. That's my mom's fault. Make sure I don't have to duck. Okay, so moving on. So one particular story was offered to prove his guilt, and it is the basis for the werewolf lore surrounding Mr. Vurdin. A man came upon a vicious wolf, but managed to escape the wolf's attack. Severely wounded the beast. So this man severely wounded this beast. The man followed the bloody trail, and at its end was a wounded Michel Vurdin. The man became convinced that Vurdin was able to transform himself from human to wolf, and something in between. See, that kind of caught my imagination where it said something in between. Now, the story spread like wildfire, and Vurdin was charged with lycanthropy, the ability to change from human to wolf. My question is, what was the in between? Was that the dog man?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That is a good question. It doesn't say.
What do you all think?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Tim? It was Pecos Bill that wrote the tornado, guys. Tim knew.
Okay.
Pecos Bill.
It was Pecos Bill.
Alrighty.
Now we know.
Now
I
you
would
know.
not have been I would not have been able to sleep tonight until I knew that.
See the
I will
knowledge
look
I'm
it up
sharing?
after.
See all that knowledge I'm sharing with you guys? You learn something every time you come on the show.
Yep.
Hmm.
Sunshine says you need to look at Corinthians chapter 12, guys, is where that would be at, I guess.
About
So,
the witches.
yeah.
Okay.
I would
Thank
tell
you.
y'all, and I can tell y'all after the show if you want me to. It's just, I know that there is people out there that do not believe the way I do, and they would try to use that scripture and to say that we were inciting violence because of what the scripture actually says. So
Then don't
Right.
say
it's
it.
sad. It's sad we can't do that, but we actually can't share that scripture. So Burgott corroborated the account and said at the trial that Vurdin had taken him. Now listen to this. This right here gave me so many questions, and I'm not going to ask questions. I'm going to let you and Amanda see if you have any questions after hearing this part. This part blew my mind. So Burgott corroborated the account and said that at the trial that Vurdin had taken him to a Wiccan pagan ritual as a Sabbath. There, Vurdin initiated Burgott so that he could also assume wolf form. Now, Vurdin applied an ointment to Burgott, and his magical and wicked salve that he had made transformed him into a bloodthirsty werewolf. He later then rubbed the salve on a belt that would allow the full transformation.
Wow.
Okay, so in the story, in the British story, modern day, that's what he talks about doing is there's an ointment that he uses to be able to transform. Salve. Salve is a plant. It's a medicinal plant, isn't it?
Yes.
I believe it's it's either a plant or it's a paste that is made, that you would make from plants.
That you would make from plants, and you can use it as a balm,
Yep.
as like a lip ointment or dry hands,
You can use it on for everything.
everything.
Yes.
And it's supposed to be antibacterial as well. So that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
So here's
yes.
this is what got me, guys, where it talks about, not necessarily the salve, but if y'all remember the story remember I done Mr. Stubbe. Remember when they found him, he had a magical belt that he had made a deal with the devil with that allowed him to transform.
Yes.
And now we have he was in, if I remember right, it was the 17th century. This is a little earlier than that. And they're still talking about a magical belt allowing for the transformation. So maybe it's because I've read further into this. Maybe it's why I had more questions, or yeah, probably so, because it almost sounds like, for one reason or another, making a deal with the devil or even a demon, I would say, is giving them this power. Why is it a belt? Why wouldn't it be something else? That was one of the questions I had. So I went back and I done some looking, some investigating, which wasn't really hard. And I found that it wasn't just a belt, but the belts primarily were picked because they came from animal origin.
Okay.
That, if you were going to transfer into a wolf, then you would have a wolf's pelt that the devil or whatever you made the deal with would have given to you. But then there was other stories of people changing into other things, not maybe not a wolf, but turning into, say, a vampire, for instance.
Yeah.
They would have a medallion. But whatever you look at, they always had something, right, that allowed them to do that. So my question is to you guys, since these items allowed them to have this power from this agreement that they had made with the dark entity, that goes right up to Native American shapeshifters using the animal skin to transform into that animal. Plus, what about
Mhm.
haunted objects that we accidentally buy at auctions, estate sales, and all that? Is that all the same?
Yes, I think so.
And then their homes become haunted
Yep.
with the purchase of these things from antique stores or whatever. Yeah. I mean, and then you were talking about the belt. Well, yeah, the belt's usually made out of like what, pelt or animal
Mhm.
Or
skins?
leather. Leather is also, most
Yep,
belts are made of
leathers.
leather.
Yep. So that does kind of make sense if you put all that together. Absolutely.
So it's kind of like, in a weird kind of a way, it's almost like still corrupting the DNA to this day, isn't it? And you're still using that animal to do it with. I don't know. That is so dark. If you
Yeah.
go down,
Yeah.
if you go down that road,
Well, and you're giving your soul to the devil in a way too, to have these powers. You
Yep.
know, there's even talk of people in Hollywood that you hear that all the time. They sell their souls for fame and fortune, and um there could be things related with that.
makes you wonder. Whenever you,
How it's all connected. Yeah.
I gotta be careful how I say this one, or I'll
I
get
know.
myself in
I'm trying
trouble.
to be careful what I say too.
So let me see here how to say this. If there was a singer that had an attachment that he had made a contract with to allow him to be able to sing, and that singer had a medallion or an object, and
Or an
he
ointment.
or an ointment, that's right, and he was say terminally ill, what would happen if he passed that on to a successor? Just asking.
They'd have the same powers. I think.
You probably know where I'm going with that. Maybe I just can't go there.
Yep.
There's a
Gotcha.
yeah, it happened. We'll just say it happened. It happened. So, convicted of lycanthropy and murder, all three men were burned at the stake. Vurdin, they even burned his wife too, just to make sure. Vurdin's wife was also convicted, although there was never any evidence that provided that she could shapeshift like Vurdin and the others. It was considered that if she was around them and she was okay with it, then hey, you're just as bad as they are. So for good measures, they burnt her at the stake also. Um,
Guilt by
you know,
association.
yeah, I mean, pretty
Or
much,
guilty by
kind of like what they
association.
said, and what was it they told Spoon and Lonesome Dove? You ride with the horse thief, you hang with the
Yep.
horse thief, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So uh, it gets really dark because so part way into the trial, right? Burgott, he made a full confession. He said that 19 years earlier in Polygony, a terrible storm scattered his flock of sheep. He enlisted the help of others and went out and searched for all of his lost sheep. While he's out searching for the sheep in the dark, three black horsemen rode up on him and inquired about his troubles. One of the men promised three things. Burgett would find his lost sheep, he would be protected, and would never have any more trouble, and he would also be given money. He would have all of these things if he would pledge to serve only the man's master. Burgott agreed to meet the man in 4 or 5 days. So before even getting into that, and I'm going to let y'all kind of talk about that part. Also, what I was thinking about, do you notice that all this is happening during a storm and right before a front, just like everything else?
Yep.
Coming to collect the soul.
Right. And I think it was pretty, there was three of them, you know, the Trinity, you know, it's always three, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's the D word.
Right.
Underground.
So they were, and we can only assume, but I'm pretty sure that what they were asking him to do was to pledge his life to their master, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And unfortunately, the story goes like this. Burgett did find all of his sheep, and he went to the meeting. He learned that the mysterious man was a servant of the devil. Imagine that. He swore allegiance to the devil. He swore allegiance to the devil and renounced Christianity. He kissed a man's left hand, which he described as black and ice cold as a corpse. He later learned the man's name was Moiset, was the name of the demon. Burgott served the devil for 2 years. His flock was protected. Burgott did not lose one sheep in those 2 years. But Burgott soon tired of life and reassumed attending church. He was approached by Michel Vurdin and was persuaded to renew his compact with the devil and a promise of getting money. Money is the root of all evil. Vurdin took him into the woods, where a ceremony was performed for transforming into werewolves. Burgott described it in court. Now, I actually have Pierre Burgott's testimony. I'll read to y'all in just a minute. I actually have the original testimony, but you notice, it seems like money is used a lot in this. Money, I mean, look at Hollywood, right? Money is always right there with the devil, the promise, and everything, isn't it?
The root of all evil.
And how many people right now, are willing to destroy somebody for fame, fortune, money,
100% happens every day.
right? Hollywood, everyday life. The guy that you're working with at work that's telling your boss behind your back that he can run the CNC machine better than you can, that you're a slacker,
Mm-hmm.
There's always that person.
Yep.
And man, I fall short of the glory of God every day. I'm not even close to perfect, and I need his forgiveness and guidance every day. But man, I am sure trying to make my walk better. You know what I mean? I do try every day to be better, and I'm trying really hard right now to be
I think we
better
all
and
do.
better and better. I think if we're a Christian, we're trying, right? I mean, if we're a Christian, we have to be trying. We have to at least try to do better.
Yes.
I mean,
And
you
then
remember,
pray for those who fall short of that.
right?
We've definitely had to do that recently.
Isn't it easier to speak the word of God than to live the word of God?
Yes.
What was I saying?
To live the word of God. Actually
Oh man,
speak louder than words.
if you're gonna, talk the talk, what was they used to say? Walk the walk. We used to hear that in basketball all the time. I played basketball. I played sports in school, and one of my coach, I'm going to shout him out too. Coach Choate, man, I loved you. You done so much for me in my life. You was a great coach. He would tell us at practice, don't tell me what you're going to do in the game, guys. Don't tell me. You go out there and show me. It was always show me. Don't tell me. Show me.
Show me what you got.
He was a great man on and off the court and the field. I really appreciated him. And another one, Coach Burgess, loved him to death. Two great men, influential in my life in so many different ways. Really good men. Sunshine says, on the other hand, what would life be like if we put as much effort and thoughts into getting close to God as some people do to get close to Satan? Well, there's a lot of temptation not to follow God in today's world. There's a lot of worldly things. I think one of the hardest things for a Christian to understand, we don't own anything on this world. If you die tonight, your wallet is still going to be beside your bed. Your car is still going to be in the driveway. Your lawnmower is still going to be broken down out in the yard. Your shoes are still going to be underneath the table, and your pills are still going to be on the table that you were supposed to take that morning. We don't take anything with us. We have to be able to shed these worldly things and to know that we put not our treasures on earth, but in heaven. And that is hard to do whenever you have the adversary saying, oh, it is so hard for you right now, but if you'll just do this, I'll help you out with this. And it's so easy to want that quick fix, right? And I'll admit it, I have fell for that. I have done that, and I have sinned like that because it is easy to do.
Amen.
You know?
Bright, shiny objects, diamonds, money, fancy clothes, fancy homes, fancy this. Absolutely. People want that glamour, that life, that the better.
Right.
They're sheep not stolen, like in
Yes,
the old
yes,
days.
yes. Like this story, the sheep not stolen, extra money. Yeah.
Better
So,
lives.
yeah, the promise of a better life. The grass is greener on the other side of the pasture. Only
Hmm.
because Grandpa said there was more shit over there, and you didn't see it till you stepped past the tall green grass right into it. So, I mean, wise words. Wise words.
Wise words
Yeah,
from Grandpa Mickey.
Cunningham, my mom's dad. Yeah,
Oh,
my mom's
okay.
dad.
Other
Yeah,
grandpa.
that was. Yep, he
Maternal
always said,
side.
you know why? Oh yeah, he always said, you know why the grass is greener on the other side? I was like, no, he's like, because there's more shit over there, which is true.
That's so true.
Well, and that's why men and women stray in marriages because they think the grass is greener on the other side, and then they get over there and it's not.
Right.
No, remember why you fell in love in the first place.
I think we are all tempted by temptation. So
100%.
I found Pierre Berget's testimony, and I thought it would be interesting to share that with y'all. This is his testimony, okay? This is what he actually said in court before he was burned at the stake. It's terrible. Sharon Guy, hello, good to see you. Glad you're safe.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
We love you.
So this is what he says: in a wood, in the woods near Chassel Charnon, we met with many others whom I did not recognize that were wearing masks. So a lot of people in this town sounds like we're involved with the devil, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
We danced, and each had in his or her hand a green taper with blue flame. Still under the delusion that I should obtain money, Michael persuaded me to move with the greatest celerity. And in order to do this, after I had stripped myself, he smeared me with the salve. And I believed myself then to be transformed into a wolf. I was at first somewhat horrified at my 4 wolves' feet. Now, I take note of that. He's actually admitting in court that he saw that his feet were feet of a wolf. This is firsthand testimony. And the fur with which I was covered in all at once. But I found that I could now travel with the speed of the wind. This could not have taken place without the help of our powerful master, who was present during our excursion, though I did not perceive him till I had recovered my human form. Michael did the same as myself. When we had been 1 or 2 hours in this condition of a metamorphosis, Michael smeared us again, and as quick as a thought, we resumed our human forms. The salve was given us by our master. To me, it was given by Moiset. To Michael, by his own master, Gilliman. So, man, I got a lot of questions for you all out of that statement right there. Just out of that statement. Do y'all
Wow.
want to say anything before I start asking away?
Well,
Because you know
yeah.
I'm good.
Does that not
I got
sound like a verse out of the Bible talking about the enemy? I mean, in a way, how it correlates
it
so much.
definitely. That's the first thing I thought when I was reading it. I was like, this almost sounds biblical.
But from the opposite side.
Yes,
Yes.
like you know what I thought of, honestly, whenever I read that? I thought of what Moses seen when he come down off the mountain. The partying, the dancing, the drunkenness, the blasphemy. It's like they were all in this, having this great time, and it almost sounds like these were, I guess I'll just ask the question since I'm going into it. Does this sound to you like these are three demons that are giving them this salve, this power? Because they don't say it was one. They name them off. That, you know, one of them, what name was Moiset, and what was the other one's name?
Something with a G, I think.
Gilliman. So Moiset and Gilliman were, each one of them had one of these. You know, Pierre and Michael was their master. So we know that that's what the demons want, is to be served, right? So these are, in my opinion, they made a deal with these demons.
They made a deal with the devil. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The devil went down to Georgia. I mean,
And then they saw the feet on the fur, or the fur on the feet.
the feet on the fur, the boots with the fur.
The boots with the fur.
Yeah.
And everyone was looking at
At
her.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, from a first person point of view, right? I mean, the guy actually goes into, I saw that I had 4 feet. I saw that they were covered in fur. I was moving as fast as the wind. I mean,
So
and he also saw his buddy in the same metamorphosis.
this is demonic.
Yep.
I mean, that is,
So, Mike, when's your
that's
next boots on
crazy.
the ground?
Well, I'm going to do Sarah. So I've retired.
Sarah's going.
Yeah, Sarah's taken over the boots on the ground. Sarah and Mom, boots on the ground.
Oh yeah, that'll be
there
wonderful.
we go. That'd give them something to talk about.
Their schedule's booked. They're
Yeah.
booked.
What do you think, Mom? You going to do the boots on the ground?
She says, hell no.
I think she's ignoring me.
Now that we know that they're probably demonic.
Well, you know, I'll tell you all a story. A lot of people down in those river bottoms have said they have heard horses down there riding, and when they turned around, there was nothing there.
Right.
Right.
Or hoof sounds.
Right. Yes. So,
And the
what
smell
does
of
the Bible?
sulfur.
You know, I've never smelled that yet. I have not smelled that, unless my smeller's weird. I've smelled like skunk. I've smelled death, and I've smelled licorice.
But
But
not
I have
sulfur.
never, not sulfur. I've
Well,
smelled
that's
black
good.
licorice a lot. I've smelled a lot of black licorice.
Maybe
yeah.
there's licorice plants down there.
Yeah.
I hate licorice.
Oh, me too.
I
like the red.
licorice. I love
like the red.
licorice.
That's what I like. Yeah, I can't do the licorice. So Mom says she is doing the boots on the ground. She said, you know it.
Amen. She says, when do I go?
I think she's waiting on you to come pick her up. You, Sarah, and Mom are going to do my boots on the ground, and I'm just going to do the podcast from now on.
Amanda, are you ready to go? Boots on the ground?
Yeah, hold on. I'll be there in a while.
I know.
Yeah, she got a little bit of a drive.
She's coming from
California.
California. I didn't know if you wanted to say, so I didn't say.
Oh, that's okay.
So here's just some more, though. The story doesn't even end there, guys. We got a lot more to get into. So Burgot insisted that, unlike the accounts given by the accused witches and werewolves, he felt no exhaustion after his shape-shifting adventures. He said that him and Vurdin went out many times as wolves. This part right here bothers me. And stalked women and children.
Oh, heck no.
So, how many times do people say when they go out that they feel that they're watched, or that heavy feeling, or something is paralleling you, right? I
You
mean,
say
we
that
could
all the
take,
time.
right, and I mean, God, you could take it down a rabbit hole if you really wanted to go down the rabbit hole, and you could say, I'm going to play on Amanda's, no, not Amanda's side. I think this is what you said, Kristen's side. If they transform and they're not this way all the time, is that creature that's paralleling us in the woods, is that somebody that we may actually know that's in a different form? Is it somebody that you've ran into at the grocery store? Or is it the old man that really did live in the house that nobody really knew that acted weird, you know? I mean, you could go down that if you really wanted to.
Could be anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's endless to where you could go with that. I would
So what
like
do
to
they say?
believe.
They call that a doppelganger. If
Oh
you
yeah,
see yourself, and then if you
yeah. If
see
you,
somebody else that you actually know, then what is that called?
man, I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know,
Crazy.
either.
but it's all related. Yeah, absolutely, and it's
um.
all related. I believe it is. I think that the demonic has the ability to do things. They have powers as well because again they're fallen
Oh yeah. Yeah.
angels, and but the Nephilim. Obviously, we can. That's a whole nother subject. Well, I mean, it's somewhat related, but it's
Oh yeah.
I
I
believe
believe it.
is half human
Yeah.
and half fallen,
Right.
and that's why there's flesh and blood and and they're paranormal. They're able to do paranormal things.
You're right, Karen. I wouldn't be happy if I couldn't do boots on the ground. You know, I've got to get out there and get some grass on my feet. Right. I have to get grass on my feet.
Oh,
True.
for sure. We love my boots on the ground.
Exactly.
I have to do. And as a matter of fact, I haven't even announced this yet. I was going to tonight. This Monday coming up, guys, weather permitting, there will be a boots on the ground this Monday. So just so y'all know, I want to go ahead.
Yay.
And guess where we're going to go? I'm going
Not
back
to
to the
the
place that I got hit in the head.
no,
Yeah,
you're
we're going
not.
back. Yeah, we're
You
going back
are.
Monday night. Yep, Monday night football. Hopefully not with my head this time, but yeah, we're going back.
Let's hope not.
Yeah. So there she is. On occasion, Burgott said now this right here, I'm going to have to put a warning out now before we go further into this. So anyone in the chat that is sensitive to unaliving or the consumption of another person, you may not want to hear the rest of this, but I believe it's very important to the story because it, to me, is evidence to the possible existence of a werewolf. I don't think we could do this story justice if we didn't tell everything that I believe is pertinent, to the possibility of a supernatural lycanthropy, right? So here we go. Give everybody time to, if you want to, leave the room, turn off the computer, remove your child or anybody. This will, we're marked as adult content only, but this is definitely going to go into the adult arena. So y'all have anything you want to recap or anything before we go into the nuts and bolts of this? The brass tacks, if you will.
Nope, I'm good.
I'm good.
You're good? Well, then let's continue onward. So, on occasion, Burgett said that he had seized a boy of about 6 or 7 years old. He was intending to tear him into pieces and eat him. He said this in court, remind you. The boy screamed so loudly that Burgett was forced to retreat to his clothes and smear himself with ointment in order to resume his human shape so that he could escape detection. Now, whenever I read this, is it me? Do you think the story has messed up, or is it just my investigative mindset that's throwing this? But when they threw the ointment in there, as into bringing him back, are they talking about, is there a salve and an ointment, or do you believe there's just, they're using another name for this? Because they're talking about an ointment now that is transforming him back to human shape.
I think it's the same thing. The salve and the ointment.
What do you think, Kristen? She's battling. I think she's
Yeah.
battling. Same thing.
I've got dogs. Did you hear the dogs? I'm so sorry.
I thought it was a werewolf.
Yeah,
I about
could be.
retired everything. I about turned off my podcast and retired right there.
Yeah, I agree with Amanda. The salve.
See, the problem I had with that, though, is if the salve turned him into a werewolf, wouldn't rubbing it back on himself keep him a werewolf? And the ointment
think it
turned him back
wears-
to a human.
I think it wears off after so long. And I think
Right, but he's-
something to do with the moonlight and the moon being out has something to do with it too.
Right, but he said he rubbed it on himself again and then turned into a human shape or form. The ointment turned him into a human form when he rubbed it back on himself. The ointment, not the salve. That really threw me off. It's my
Yeah,
OCD.
That's very interesting.
Because if the salve was causing the transformation and the ointment was causing him to go back to his human form, it almost makes me wonder if there wasn't two things. There was an ointment and a salve. I don't know.
Maybe.
Something to ponder.
Or are they just using ointment and salve as the same word?
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was wondering too also.
I mean, it's possible.
I
But I
want
don't
to
know.
believe. I want to believe, Mulder.
I want to
So
believe.
Pierre Burgott, a little bit about him. He was known locally as, and this is kind of weird too, Gross Pierre, Fat Pierre. He was a shepherd in his late 30s, struggling to manage his flock amid harsh weather and economic hardship. He would do anything to try to survive. So he was somebody that was easy for the demons probably to get him to do that because he was struggling. Michel Vurdin, he was a laborer. He was in his 40s. He was married, and he was known to have a quiet demeanor, though his involvement in local disputes hinted at a troubled reputation. Michel Vurdin enjoyed a good fight. So sounds like he had a little bit of a temper. Filbert Montaut. He's not talked about a whole lot, but he is one of the three. Filbert Montaut, less documented, was likely a peasant or a farmer, possibly younger than his co-accused, with few records of his personal life beyond his alleged role in the crimes. It was rumored that he was a butcher. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That's interesting. So he was weak-minded. When you're weak-minded, the demon can take over, or the devil can take over your soul. Unfortunately, you're an easier target.
Easier to deceive.
Easier to deceive. Absolutely.
And, it even goes on to say that these men, they were not prominent figures, but ordinary villagers whose lives were upended by accusations of lycanthropy, devil worshipping, witchcraft, black magic, reflecting the era's tendency to target marginalized individuals. Their backgrounds were typical of rural 16th century France. They were poor, uneducated, and living in the community gripped by fear of the supernatural. But if you go back again, Amanda, and you look at the Stubby case, Stubby was actually opposite of what these guys are. Remember, Stubby was rich, well known, and he was also very educated. So it really doesn't seem to matter your place in, like,
In society.
yeah. So I guess everybody is uh-oh, I lost my mouse, so I can bring, I guess everybody is subject to being tempted. I guess that'd be the right word, right? We're all
Yeah.
subject to being tempted.
Yep.
Being close to God and not being weak minded, being strong minded can help you overcome that.
Right. You know, one of the hardest things, I think, for me anyways, I'm just going to speak for me, is I want to say I struggle with faith. And whenever you say faith, a lot of people take faith and they say, well, you shouldn't struggle with faith. Well, faith isn't the big things. Faith isn't believing in God, the big thing, the big faith. But faith is also, that guy poked me in the eye, so I want to poke him back in the eye, right? And instead of poking him back in the eye, Jesus tells us not to do that, that he will make it right. That if we do that, then we're also falling into the same sin, and we're not giving him credit or faith that he'll take care of it. And, I have fallen into that sin myself, to where you're hit, you want to hit back. And it's hard to just let it go, and not have that faith. But that's what I'm learning, and that's what I'm doing, is I'm trying to walk closer and closer to my Father, as we just have to give it to him. And if it's meant to, if it's meant
Right,
to be
Karen?
that way, his will be done, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So a little bit of the story on the werewolves, just a little bit of the stuff I took down, a little bit of the PowerPoints for you guys, just to give the audience and you guys a little bit of a more of a thing is, yeah, weak minds are prey, Karen. That's true. And haste, hate, and vengeance follows a person with an attachment. I was reading that today. The story of werewolves of Polygony begins in the early 16th century in Polygony, a town nestled in the rugged hills of, oh my gosh, I don't speak French, but it's in France. This region was marked by a dense forest and isolated hamlets. It was fertile ground for tales of shapeshifters and demonic forces. This case erupted in 1521 when a traveler whose name was lost to history was attacked by a large wolf while passing through the outskirts of Polygony. The traveler managed to wound the beast with a knife, driving it off. Curious and alarmed, he followed the trail of blood to a small cottage where he found Michel Vurdin nursing a fresh wound which matched the wolf's injury. Vurdin's wife, tending to him, appeared nervous. Further accusing suspicion, the traveler reported to the local magistrate what had happened, sparking a chain of events that would engulf Polygony into a night of terror. The authorities swiftly arrested Vurdin, who, under the threat of torture, implicated Pierre Bergot and Philibert Montot. The accusation centered on their alleged ability to transform into wolves through the diabolical pact with the devil, facilitated by a mysterious salve or an ointment. See, now they're saying it in two different words again. There was a salve and an ointment. That's what throws me off. Bergot, the most talkative of the three, provided a detailed confession that painted a vivid and gruesome picture of their lives and crimes. Here you go, guys. This is what he said. As a pack of werewolves.
Wow.
He
Interesting.
admitted they were a pack of werewolves.
Well, there you go.
I mean, if you go to court and you're being tried for lycanthropy, and that if you're found guilty, you're going to be not just executed. I mean, nowadays, yeah, we execute people, but it's a lot more humane. Back then, they were going to tie you to a stake and burn you alive. Do
Yeah.
you really?
And invite
Do,
the whole town to watch.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it
do
was
you?
brutal.
Oof. Could you imagine?
No.
And then to go into court and to confess how proud you were that you ran in a pack of werewolves, to confess that, could you imagine?
Right?
I mean, that kind of blows. I mean, that almost, oh my God. Okay, so, I told you at the beginning of this that I was a person that believed that these creatures were the way they are continuously. But man, this really, and I'm open-minded to anything, because if somebody can change my mind and they're right, I'm absolutely open to it, because I don't know all this. I don't know a quarter of it. But for somebody to sit in court knowing that a confession is going to be a horrible, terrible fate, to sit there and say that, it almost makes you believe, God, there has to be something to it. Either he actually transformed, or he had such a mental illness that he believed in his heart that they transformed. I mean,
Right.
what do you think?
The well, the story's crazy. Anybody that anybody that hears the story is
And
going to
that's all,
say,
folks.
A, he's off his rocker, or
Yeah.
Right.
B, let's go investigate. Let's go take this werewolf down. And they take all their pitchforks and their lanterns, and they go try and hunt these things down, back in the day.
And then they find him as human.
And then they find him as human. Exactly. And so and back to the salve and the ointment. Do you think the salve is to go back to human and the ointment is to turn into the werewolf or the dog man or whatever?
I think one is for one and one's for the other. I just don't know which way it is.
Right.
I think so too. The more I read this, I would have to agree with you guys that I believe that there's two,
Yeah.
and it almost makes sense, because I mean, if you're this evil demon, right, and
Mm-hmm.
say I come up to you and Amanda, and you all are like herding your sheep, and I'm like, hey guys, give me your souls. I'll protect your sheep. I'll give you this salve that'll turn you into this creature where you can do, amazing things. But just in case you ever get cornered, you can also rub this on you and you'll turn back into yourself and they'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That
Yep.
just makes sense to me.
Yes. I wonder if you read deeper into that story, if it talks about that. Or did you read the whole story?
Okay, so what I've done is I've done a preliminary investigation. I did not do like a super deep dive. So I mean, we could do a part two.
Yeah, let's do a part 2. Why not? Let's read more into it and find out what the ointment and the salve is for.
And you never know where that's going to lead you. That could lead you into other possibilities and stories and encounters.
Absolutely. Well, and I'd like to hear more testimony from the townspeople.
Right.
There's got to be amazing testimony out there.
Well, so you want to hear a little bit more of the weird stuff. So this was placed in the actual report, and I don't believe they would have placed this in the report if it wouldn't have been pertinent. There was a reason. So I'm just going to read it to y'all, and you let me know what you think. So it says, little is known about the early lives of Vurdin and Montauk, but Burgott's backstory offers some insight. So Burgott had a little bit of a backstory. Now, he was born around almost the same time my mom was, 1485. He was a shepherd, two-faced, constant hardship.
Mom,
And
did
in
you hear
50
that? Trying
she
to see
said
if she's
something.
paying attention.
I couldn't hear her. She said something. And in 1502, at about the age of 17, Burgott's flock was scattered during a violent thunderstorm. And here we are, another storm. near the village of Chastel Charnon. Desperate and alone, he encountered three mysterious figures dressed in black riding horses. One, later described as a demonic entity named Moiset, offered to protect Birgit's sheep and grant him wealth in exchange for renouncing God, the Virgin Mary baptism, and the church attendance. So, see, there's a little bit more information that wasn't even talked about in the beginning. It just talked about the other three. Now, when you look further into this, they were actually more precise about, you got to denounce God, you got to denounce the Virgin Mary and baptism, and you have to denounce church attendance, going to church. So these things definitely hate Christianity.
Yes.
Yes,
So
I believe that.
Burgot, impressionable and fearful, agreed, kissing the figure's icy hand, which he described as cold as death. This pact, he claimed, marked the beginning of his descent into lycanthropy. He described having a hunger for raw, bloody meat, and this is kind of nasty too, but would find himself naked and rolling in the dead corpses of animals he would find outside, as he said he loved the scent. That's what dogs do. They roll in everything dead. Vurdin, a laborer with his wife and no recorded children, had a reputation of being reclusive. Local gossip suggested he was involved in pretty much a lot of disputes over money, which made him a target for suspicion. Montauk, possibly a farmer, was even less prominent, with no surviving records of his family or occupation. The trio's ordinary lives contrasted starkly of extraordinary accusations leveled against him. Here's the weird thing, guys. All three of these men, no family. All three of them. None of them had any family history. Where did they come from?
Who knows?
Wow. Wouldn't it be something to throw a wrench in this story and say that there was no three horsemen, that the three horsemen are actually these three guys?
Yeah.
Wow. Or are they demons?
Right. Or even, hey, here you go. Here you guys go. Were these three guys actually fallen angels? Were those people entertaining angels, not knowing, just not the good kind?
Yeah. Who knows?
I mean, it's just throwing a twist out there, not saying that's what it is, but
Yeah. No,
wouldn't
I
that be
agree.
something? That would be pretty crazy. I mean, they're in there fooling all the township. So I don't know. It gets worse, because here's the alleged crimes that they faced in court. The accusations against them were being werewolves, of polygamy, also cannibalism, sorcery, and witchcraft. Burgot confessed to participating in a witches' sabbat, a nocturnal gathering in the woods near Polygamy, where he and others danced around a fire lit with green tapers that burned with eerie blue flames. At one such gathering, Vurdin provided Burgot with a magic salve, which, when he applied it, transformed him into a werewolf. Burgot described the transformation as exhilarating, but he was also terrified. His body sprouted fur, his hands became paws, and he gained supernatural speed, running like the wind. Vurdin and Montauk allegedly underwent similar transformations that they all witnessed each other doing. The crimes that they confessed to were gruesome and numerous, targeting vulnerable villages, especially children. Burgot admitted to killing a woman approximately 30 years old while she gathered peas in a field near Polygamy in the late 1520s. He attacked her in wolf form, tearing out her throat and devouring parts of her body, mostly her liver and organs. When a man identified her and attempted to intervene, Burgot killed him too, devouring his liver and leaving his mutilated body. In another incident, Burgot confessed to attacking a 4-year-old girl near the village of Amangus, strangling her and eating her flesh, describing it as tender and sweet. He also admitted to killing a 7-year-old girl in the forest clearing, drinking her blood, and leaving her body for wild animals. A 6-year-old boy was attacked near Polygony's outskirts but survived. His screams alerted nearby farmers who caused the wolf, Burgot, also confessing to killing a goat and less other animals in the area. The farmers also corroborated the story, saying that they saw a wolf run from the child as they approached the child. Vurdin's confessions echoed Burgot's through fewer details. He admitted to murdering at least 2 children, one 9-year-old boy found near a stream. His body was partially eaten. Montaut's role was less clear, but he was accused of participating in at least one child murder. And we'll skip that in total. The trio was linked into 7 murders, through some accounts suggested the top 10 victims, including adults and children, between 1518 and 1521. The victims were often found in isolated areas, fields, forests, or riverbanks, with signs of animal-like attacks, torn flesh, bite marks, and missing limbs. How many cases do we look at? Unknown animal attacks, torn flesh, bite marks, missing limbs. Remember Amber? What happened to her? Her arms were almost ripped off.
Yes.
So even
And the
what they
man in
were,
Texas. The man in
yeah,
Texas was standing up when he was attacked and his throat was
right.
taken away.
Does this not?
Sounds very familiar to the cases you've talked about in modern days. Absolutely.
That's what I'm starting to think too, man. This stuff is so. I mean, we're talking what 1518, and then Amber Hearst, right? And then we
Mhm.
had Tony Ayers, and then we had the McNeilus child here in Oklahoma. We had the little girl here in Oklahoma. We had Corey Godsey.
Corey Godsey was the Texas man, I believe. And then
Oh,
you talked about the Amazon
wow.
driver,
Yeah, and then the lady with the in the front yard, they blamed it on the pigs.
the grandmother in the ditch that was out walking.
Oh yeah, Miss Hamilton.
Yep.
So
It's very familiar, isn't it?
wow, that really just opened my eyes, because I had not thought of that until you read things out loud. It hits you different than whenever you're just sitting here reading.
Absolutely.
And even this part right here, they were
Yeah.
found in fields, forests, and riverbanks and ditches. That's
Yes.
where these people were found.
And the guy that had his throat, they said he was in a standing position. How they knew that? Probably forensics, however they figured that stuff out. He was in a standing position when he was attacked. What could rip out a man's throat while he's standing up?
Right.
And we don't have bears in Texas. So there you go. Maybe, and they knew, and they said it wasn't a mountain lion because the bite marks weren't correct.
Right. And wasn't his clothing removed also?
Yes. To shreds.
And a lot of the 411 cases, the clothing is removed.
Yes.
And a lot of the reports I've looked at, and the police reports and autopsies and stuff like that, is lacerations, animal bite marks, torn flesh, missing limbs, and missing organs.
Well, with the missing 411, that normally there's nothing normally known to the human eye of anything wrong. Normally. For most of the reports, it's they have no clue what's going on. How did this person die? There's no trauma to the body
Right.
at all. So with missing 411, I think that's something completely different. I think that's even more crazy and out there.
Do you think that maybe the missing 411 is dealing more with, instead of the Nephilim, that you're dealing directly with the fallen angels?
Yes, I do. I think that's because there's weather patterns that happened before. Very mysterious, strange weather. And then, I mean, who can manipulate that?
Right.
Or what can manipulate that? We do know now that humans can do that. I mean, there is definitely debate about that.
But as fast as they're able to do it, though, are we able
It's
to do that, right?
right. No. I mean, there's cloud seeding and things like that that they've been doing since the, well, 70s or 80s, I believe, is when they said they started doing that. But yeah, um, I will say, yeah, this story matches up very familiar with the modern day. And then the girl that was found in the field, that beautiful young woman, I think she was in Kentucky or Tennessee. The grandmother said that she had so many bite marks that the doctor couldn't even count them all.
Yeah, that was Amber.
Amber,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, they, she died from sepsis from her arms were almost detached. I mean,
Yes.
and if these things are as nasty as what we know them to be, then there's no, I mean, here's another thing. I mean, if they come from these, these Nephilim and they are, bestiality, pretty much it is bestiality with the fallen angels, what are those big, I'm terrified of them things, but those big lizards, that bite you, that have all that bacteria in their mouth? What are they? Those,
Iguanas?
the bigger ones, the ones that eat like deer and stuff.
Oh gosh. I'm
I
sure
can
there's a
never.
man in the chat that knows.
I usually do because that's one thing I am terrified of. I never want to be around one of those.
Yeah.
They will bite you and then follow you and wait for you to die to
Oh,
eat you.
oh, I know what you're talking about. And they've got venom too.
Yeah, their things are terrible.
I know what you're talking about. Komodo dragons.
Yeah, Komodo
Yes.
dragons.
Thank you,
Oh,
Chester. Good job, Chester.
yeah, Chester and Gary. Yeah, they're like, but
Or
you.
Gila
Oh yeah,
monsters? What are those? I don't
it's
even
another.
know.
Yeah, it's another lizard, I think. But
Okay.
but could you imagine? And then, I mean, that honestly just really gave me goosebumps when I read that. Whenever riverbanks, animal-like attacks, torn flesh bite marks. What's sad though? Honestly, if you look at it with our technology from the policing in 1518 to 2026 now, and we're still putting the same thing in our reports that they did in 1518, yeah, we're hiding something because,
Oh, for sure.
you know, we've advanced further than just saying the same thing, right?
There's many professionals that have said some pretty smart things. And I do watch David Politis. He was a police officer as well for many, many years and an investigator. And he thinks that there's so much hiding of all of this because it's not something that our government can control,
Right.
which makes sense. But if they can control it, think about that for a second. If you can control with whatever this is that's going on, especially with the possible alien technology, if that does exist, whoever gets their hands on that technology first, could you imagine the power that these governments could have?
I believe that the fallen angels, the Bible talks about, they taught us how to make weapons and stuff like that. I believe this is only by theory. Okay, this is only just a theory. I believe that they are still giving our government knowledge for so many people a year, to put it without getting in trouble.
Right.
I believe that, stealth bombers, and if they're showing us that stuff, we have stuff that's way better than that, right?
Yes,
Uh,
for sure.
so, I mean, I believe there's
Well, look at the black money projects. That look how much money there's
right.
they're spending on that with their tax dollars. It's unreal. What are they doing back there?
The,
And as the
the,
American people that pay for it, we have the right to know that stuff. We really do. And it's a shame. There's people out there like Tim Burchett and a couple of others, and Anna Paulina, I believe her name is. They're trying so hard to get us the answers, which is great. But, you know, it's been it's been a long time since Roswell, and we sure like to know a little bit more. Let's get the ball
one of
rolling.
the former speakers of the House,
Mm-hmm.
She actually said in an interview, and quote, she said, "We as reptilians," and never corrected herself. I about fell over. And I know we can't go a lot into this. We'd have to be Patreon to go where we want to go with this. But I mean, it was said, and I was like, what? Did I just hear that right? And I like rewinded it, and yeah, she did. She said it. You'll have to look it up. It's crazy.
Well, there's theories out there that there are lizard people in our government. I mean, who knows? There's been a lot of claims of that and extraterrestrials. Philip Schneider was real popular back in the 90s, and he had talked about and his father was high up ranks in military, and well, so was Phil Schneider. Well, no, he worked for the military. He wasn't in military, but his father was, and they seem to know quite a bit about what sort of extraterrestrial or what these things were working in our government, which was really interesting. If anybody can ever, I think YouTube actually took Philip Schneider down, all his
Yeah.
interviews down, unfortunately. That's a shame
Yeah.
because, wow.
Yeah, we have to be so careful as creators at what we talk about and how far we take it. And
Right.
like I said, if you ever want to go deep dive on something, let me know. We'll do a Patreon, and we can go as far and as deep as you want to.
And we'd love to do it.
Oh yeah, that
We'd
would
love to talk
be
about it.
interesting. I mean, because my opinion is, this is just, and I'm not going to say any further because I get myself in trouble. But my opinion is, our government has a contract with the fallen, you know who. So keeping on with this, so we don't get in trouble. The crimes came to light only through the traveler's encounter, but also due to the growing panic and polygamy. Villagers reported missing children, mutilated bodies, fueling rumors of a loup garou, French for werewolf. Parents kept children indoors, and farmers themselves started telling scary bedtime stories to their children that lock your windows, lock your doors, don't go outside at night, don't look out the windows. So all of these stories that have been passed down to us as children are not really made up, are they? They're coming from actual cases. This actually
Absolutely.
happened.
And there's a lot of French still in the Louisiana, Baton Rouge area, well, all over Louisiana. And they talk about what is it, the loup-garou? They talk about it all the time. They still
Right.
call it that to this day. And there's still stories about it today.
You know,
Very interesting subject.
these stories that we're told as children, there's a lot more to them
Mm-hmm.
than just a scary bedtime story, you know. Let's move on to the trial. That way we can go ahead and wrap this up. We'll take some questions from people. We're getting really close to the end of this. So pretty much, in the trial itself was held in a public hall in Polygony, packed with villagers and the clergy. Their only physical evidence that they had at the trial was pretty much the three guys. They were found guilty of lycanthropy, witchcraft. They were all put out, and then the execution happened in December, the
Wow,
morning
so
of
they had
December.
ample evidence.
Yeah, they were totally convicted.
Wow.
In the morning, on a cold morning in December of 1521, the three men were sentenced to death by burning at the stake, a punishment reserved for heretics and witches. They were led to a public square in Polygony, where they had built
The
the
rougarou.
Polygony. If you want, I can send you this after the show if you want to look through this. I've got it all wrote down, my notes
Oh,
and all.
Michelle said rougarou. I was trying to figure out how to say that. I was like, the loup-garou? The
I'm not.
rougarou.
I mess up so much on that. There's
No, you're
Amanda.
fine.
She must have got booted. She never came back. Contemporary accounts describe the scene as grim. Well, yeah, because they were burnt to death. I mean,
Oh, gosh.
there couldn't be
Could you
anything good
imagine who
about
got
that.
their souls?
Oh, yeah. It said the men were tied to stakes, surrounded by straw and wood. A priest offered a final chance for repentance. None of them accepted it. Wow.
None of them accepted it. Interesting.
That's...
I think they already knew their souls were bound and taken.
They had already done so much. The men were tied to stakes. The burning was not only a punishment, but a public ritual to purge the community of perceived demonic influence. As the men burned, people spoke of seeing different colored flames. So,
Wow. Interesting. Different colored flames. Wow.
so
What a story.
yeah. So what happened there?
But the grim recovery of all this, I mean, definitely reminds you of probably the stories you've talked about on here.
It's an eye opener, isn't it?
It sure is.
I mean, it's nice to be able to do investigations, but whenever you do investigations and then you find something that totally corroborates what you've said before, it just adds that much more to the weight of the subject, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost eye-opening as to, because I mean, you look at cases now and we're talking, 1521, and bodies were being found the same way that we're still finding them now in 2026. These things have been here way before us, and they'll be here way after us.
I agree. I think people need to be aware of this subject
Oh,
and
yeah.
vigilant and carry, especially if you're going to go camping or be in the woods.
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
unfortunately so many more stories like this.
Infinite Seven, good night, man. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's just...
Thank you, Infinite.
It could go on. It's like the song that never ends, right? I mean, but the teacher that died, right? Miss Hamilton. What bothered me a lot about that case was 3 days prior to her death, there was a 911 call that came in, and the actual report was there was a large canine-looking creature that was walking bipedally in the same field by the ditch where she was killed. For some reason, the dispatcher that took that call, instead of relaying the exact information like they're supposed to, the dispatcher took it upon themselves and said that it was a animal that had been misidentified. Now, if they wouldn't have done that, and they would have really looked at it as it was called in, could that have saved her life? I believe it could have, because, I mean, even if the government wasn't going to come out and say, hey, we have a dog man out here, they at least could have came out and said, hey, we need to be careful in the mornings and late evenings because there's an animal out here that may be a threat, and maybe she wouldn't have walked that day, right?
Absolutely. There's an unknown, unidentified something animal out here, and it could be not safe. So
Right.
I know there are some national parks that will, if there's an incident, they'll tape it off for a while, but that's it. That's all you ever hear about. It's been taped off, and then life goes on. I think there's too much money, too much power, to reveal things. And I think it's up to us to keep talking about it.
I think us as Christians, Jesus told us to spread the word. And I believe that there's people out there that struggle every day with either what's at my house, what did I see as a child, what did I see fishing, am I crazy, does it really exist? And I try to make a place where people can come and talk about that freely, not be judged, but to be able to find people that are asking the same questions, trying to figure out what's really going on, and to have a safe place to be able to do it.
Yes.
And for us not to judge each other because we disagree and hate each other, but for us to be able to have adult conversations and to be able to disagree and to walk away at the end of the night and still care about each other, still be friends, and not feel the need to attack somebody personally because we don't believe. That's our failure. We got
Right.
to be able to, as the words of Charlie Kirk said, when the talking stops, that's when we fail.
That's when we fail and fight.
That's it.
That's when we go to war. When we stop talking and
He
stop
lost his.
communicating. He
That's
lost
it.
his life. Yep.
He lost his life for the Lord, for the Lord's word, and he lost his life trying to get people to understand you got to be able to have conversation.
And debate and free speech.
That's it.
That was his biggest thing, and there was no such thing as hate speech to him. I personally believe that there is hate speech. I believe you
Yeah,
can't yell things on an airplane when you're on an airplane with 30, 50 other people, 100 other people.
right.
You know?
There's a man on the wing.
Yeah. There's things that you just don't say. Do I believe in free speech? Absolutely. I think everybody should have their right to say whatever they want and
But
have their piece about it. But,
just because you can, don't mean you should. Um,
amen.
there's repercussions to what we do and say. Also, there's a law called expectation of privacy. Charlie Kirk talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very smart man.
Oh, yeah. Big
So,
idol of mine.
oh, mine too. Yeah, definitely. It broke my heart. Still breaks my heart. So, Sky, I want to thank you for joining us tonight, but I also want to let you recap or say whatever you'd like to say before we end tonight. The floor is yours.
Well, I was just going to say, if anybody's had any encounters, I'm sure you can email Mr. Mike. And Nancy's really good about putting his email on the screen. And if you've had any extraterrestrial encounters like myself and you want to come up and talk to me, I'd love to talk to you. I would absolutely love to talk to you. Or if you've seen a UFO. That's what my experience was, but I'm kind of more into the cryptid side. I've always kind of been more into the cryptid side. I think it's a little bit more fascinating to me. But anyway, I definitely would love to talk about it. If anybody out there would like to discuss it with me, or maybe Mike will just have me on the show and I can talk about it by myself. However we work it, we'll work it.
We're definitely going to get your story out because I want to hear your full encounter too. Because just the other night, you sent me that video of something standing up outside. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I have some pretty crazy encounters around here sometimes too. And I'm just
I,
on 5 acres.
I think once they find us, they hang on to us.
Yeah, I think they know that we know.
I
And
think
once they
so.
know that we know, they know.
Yeah, I think
You know?
so. I think mom believes that too. Don't you think, Mom, once they run into you, they'll always remember you? Yeah, she
Yeah,
thinks
the
so.
hitchhiker effect
Oh yeah.
is what Scott Carpenter talked about, and David Politis talks about that too sometimes. Yeah, that's why I'm always asking you, what are you hearing at your house? What are you seeing at your house? They're
Have they got
probably
you
around
yet?
you.
You're not missing yet. Not yet.
Yeah. Are they going through your trash cans?
And some things that we're running by, guys. I don't even know if this will happen yet, but I have made a thumbnail for it. At the end of this year, we may have a Squatch camp. I have put a thing out. We may do that. Going to be. I don't know if Sky's going to be able to. I haven't got to talk to her yet, but the 16th, I will be interviewing a gentleman for another premiere drop. Hopefully, Sky and Amanda will be able to join me for that.
For sure.
Cool. That'll be a good one. And then maybe we even talked about doing a Patreon on the Girl Scout murders. I know you're a fan of that.
Yeah,
So
I
we may
just
do
got
that.
really into that story. Yep.
And Monday night, guys, this Monday coming up, we're going to have a Boots on the Ground coming up. So
Hooray. Why we
I'll
all
get
watch.
yeah, I think I got the thumbnail out already, maybe. I think I've already got it out. So if I don't, I will have it out soon. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Sky?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. It was a little longer one. I think we had a pretty good discussion tonight. It was a very intriguing encounter to me.
It was fun.
Oh, anytime you find something like that to where there is documentation, that matches other things, that just corroborates what you're talking about, there has to be some legitimacy to it, right? So, yeah, I think tonight we opened a lot of
Absolutely.
doors. We opened the door for a lot more questions, a lot more investigating. So I hope you all enjoyed
Maybe
it,
debate.
guys.
Who knows? Who
Oh,
knows?
yeah, maybe even a debate. Yeah, absolutely, because we're not always going to agree on the same thing.
Nope. And we're
And
not always right either.
that's right. And I might throw you into the bus again. I don't know. You never know.
You never know. You never know when Mike's going to throw you under the bus.
Yeah, you never know. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. Let us know after the show. Once we end it, let us know in chat if you enjoyed the show. I always go through. I'll read every one of your messages. I always do. I'll reply, give you a heart or something, guys. Let me know how you like the show. Good night. God
Good night,
bless.
everybody. God
And
bless. Thank you
yes,
for
and we
being
will
here.
see you Monday night in the woods.
Bye,
Good night.
guys.